at Te Paiora SSPA. Just pause for the recording. Again, a warm welcome to you all here today. I'm joined by my wonderful colleague Fiona Borden, and she will be helping with the back end of stuff. Fiona does policy and information for us at Te Paiora SSPA. It is a great opportunity today for us to welcome another one of our wonderful members, Emerge Aotearoa. And the team today that we have is Sharon Necklin, who's beaming in from Tāmaki Makaurau. We also have, welcome Sharon, we also have Diana, Laura and Angela, who are coming from Aotearoa Christchurch today. Hi from down there. And Nairi also, who is joining us from the west coast of the South Island. So this is truly a team effort today, and we're very, very grateful for them coming along to talk to us more. Emerge Aotearoa is a national charitable trust, and it provides a wide range of health and social services. And today they're going to be focusing on celebrating their southern region around the title of, as we've all read, How We Realise Potential, which I think is such a great title because I really want to know more. And also it's something that, of course, we can all be thinking about within our own organisations and the mahi we do. So I'm going to pass it over to Sharon. And Sharon and I have already connected that, you know, from coming from Aotearoa, growing up there, that we had to ask each other what school we come from. So that's always a Christchurch thing, isn't it? Sharon, take it away. And thank you so much.
I think it's clear. The other part of that kōrero though was, I wonder what other regions' questions are. So, you know, obviously Christchurch, if you know you're from Christchurch, it's because you're asking what school you came from, or Auckland, it's because you're asking what suburb you grew up in. And I was asking, I wonder what the question is for others around the country. So if that's just a wee thing to think about. So I'm just going to share my screen of our wee PowerPoint. So as Claire said, we're from Emerge Aotearoa, and we just thought we'd do a cheeky wee introduction of ourselves first, and then we'll get into the content. Cool. So kia ora everyone, my name is Sharon Necklin. I am the Family and Whānau Lead of Emerge Aotearoa, sitting in our national practice team. So kind of what does that mean? That means that I'm sort of behind the scenes looking at how our teams do the mahi that they do, and supporting them in the best way that we can. And I'll pass over to Diana and Laura and Angela.
Kia ora, my name is Diana Ikitani. I'm the Service Manager for our health coaches here at Emerge Aotearoa, and I also sit as part of the program team with the Te Timu Waiora as the health coach and support worker lead, which means I support all the NGOs and health coaches and support workers in practice.
Kia ora, I'm Laura. I'm a health coach down here in Christchurch, and I am based at a GP practice.
I'll just turn us over to Ange here.
Angela Taitapuanga. I am the Service Manager for the West Coast Community Support Service, the Creative Works Employment Consultants Wellington and Christchurch, and the ABE Activity-Based Experience team in Christchurch. Kia ora.
Kia ora, and Nairi.
Kia ora everyone, my name is Nairi Taylor, and I am a community support worker for Emerge Aotearoa's Activity and Living Skills Service here on the West Coast.
Kia ora. Thanks ladies. So I just thought we'd give a little bit of background about Emerge, because as I've been travelling around the country in my role, there's been quite a stark thing of people still think we're potentially called another name. So Emerge Aotearoa was merged in 2015 through Richmond Fellowship and Recovery Solutions. And so now we have Emerge Aotearoa. So we're nearly 10 years old in our merger. And as Claire mentioned, so we cover quite a few different entities. So Emerge Aotearoa Trust has 5 separate entities, and we have 1,300 staff across the motu. So we have our trust entity, and then we have EAL, so that's our health and disability teams. We have our housing trust, we have Mind and Body, which is our peer support lived experience, and then we have Ignite Aotearoa, so that's our our online sort of wellbeing provider. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight just before the girls get into the beautiful mahi that they do is we've just in the last year transitioned our strategy to 6 new areas, and I just kind of wanted to put the call out for connections and building relationships, because we're really keen in as an organisation to see how we can support better in the communities that we're in, see what links we can link up with. So one of our key strategies is tangata tiriti. So we really want to become authentic tangata tiriti partners, and basically one of our key po is Māori succeeding as Māori. So that really speaks to our driver of engaging well with community and making sure that their voices are heard. So our services, so this is looking at a holistic approach of people's well-being and making sure that their whānau can thrive. And so I think that's kind of why my role exists a lot, is to see how we can do that better through the services, which is obviously one of our portals of change. Our kaimahi, so we in Emerge Aotearoa definitely believe that our kaimahi are our greatest assets, and so we're making sure that our staff are prepared and engaged and focused on our values and delivering best services to the communities that we're in. Our relationships, so like I said before, we're really keen on developing relationships with other organisations to see collectively how we can do better for the people across our communities. So we want to acknowledge that mana whenua and really stand with our iwi Māori in achieving their aspirations, and nurturing and expanding relationships from the communities and also the funders and other services within those communities. Our performance, so we're really keen to look at, I guess, data in the nicest way, shape or form, is basically to help us make decisions that will be responsive to the communities we're in, and we're wanting to make sure that just so we can really speak to what's going on. And then our planet, so making sure that through our environmental, social and governance practices that we're just really focused on that, especially I guess the times we live in, hey? So today, so obviously we're across the motu, so we from the far north to Invercargill, we really wanted to celebrate our southern region today, and so some of the services we're going to be mentioning are sort of self-referral and what I guess like primary level referral, whereas in some of our other services like Nelson and some of our Christchurch services, it's one of those secondary referral pathways. So we're not going to mention those today, and our Timaru Dining and Housing is primarily our housing teams. So we just really wanted to highlight health today and highlight the ones that our communities can refer into and connect into. So the ones we're going to be highlighting today are Te Timu Waiora, adventure-based experience, creative works, and some of our community support teams. If anyone is interested in talking more about the other bespoke contracts that we do have that are more of the secondary referral stuff, feel free to reach out to me. I've put my email address at the bottom, and then I'll redirect whichever part of the country you're in. Also, if you're not based in Southern, but are still wanting to connect in, please, again, feel free to connect in, and I can funnel you through to the right person. So Diana, Te Timu Waiora.
I go. Kia ora. So I'm just going to do a quick sort of introduction to Te Timu Waiora as a service, and then talk a little bit to the health coaches, which is a service that I manage. So Te Timu Waiora is pretty much health coaches and HIPs and support workers who are sitting in our general practices. So at the moment, just within the Canterbury region, we're over about 70 practices, which is Pegasus practices, Waitaha and PHOs. We've got about 50 health coaches that sit across those practices, and pretty similar with the HIPs as well. And we've probably got about 10 support workers that work across quite a few of the practices collectively. So we're across The health coaches sit within NGOs, so we've got 7 NGOs that manage our health coaches, and basically it's a fully funded service. Our health coaches and HIPs will see people between about 30 minutes. Sometimes it might be slightly less, it might be slightly more. It's a fully funded service. The aim is to give people and support people to manage different situations in their life. So it might not necessarily be mental health related, it might be more distress if they need to. It might be linking people into different services that are out in the community. It could just be managing sort of day-to-day life, lots of different things. We have, often people might see a health coach or a HIP just one time, but they might see them 3 or 4 times as well. So there's no real barrier to the service. The only criteria is that they are actually enrolled in the GP practice. So a little bit about the health coach role. So health coaches support people to make positive changes to their lifestyle. As I said, it may not be a medical issue, but it might be something affecting their well-being that they might want to address. We work around behavioural change, and it can take time. So health coaches do see people, as I said, a number of times, but it might be less. Health coaches are not registered health professionals, but they do have general health knowledge and provide advice drawn from reputable sources such as Health Info and Health Navigator. In addition to the health coaches bringing their own abilities, skills, health coaches teach people to change their behaviour and connect with outside services. So Laura's here and she might be able to just talk a little bit to maybe some of the people that they actually support and some of the people that we're seeing presenting in our health coach roles.
So we can see people to help improve people's well-being. So that might be physical health conditions, long-term conditions such as diabetes, so managing diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, that kind of thing. And it's around lifestyle changes. So we look at maybe what they're eating, physical activity and stress management. So it's quite a broad role. So it's quite broad in the kind of issues, I suppose. I don't really like that word, but that people get referred to us by. So the GPs or the nurses refer, or you can self-refer as well. And usually in the practice waiting rooms, there'll be posters up of the health coaches and the health improvement practitioners. And we've all got different backgrounds, like Diana said. So mine is mental health. So I'm able to support people to do some mild to moderate mental health stuff, whether that's stress management or helping to improve sleep or managing some anxiety. And health coaches and HIPs can refer to each other as well. So that's really helpful. If we feel that someone might need some more kind of, I suppose, expertise around mental health, then we can refer to the health improvement practitioner and they can see them for free as well.
Does anybody have any questions that they might want to know about this specific service that we might be able to answer? No?
Cool. Well, I guess if people think on any questions that they have, and then Laura and Diana will be here at the end to answer any further questions. Because this model is based across the motu. Obviously, we're talking about Canterbury specific. But yeah, so if you'd like to know anything about or maybe which practices they're in, those sort of information, we can share that at the end. Thanks, Dan. So the next service we wanted to highlight was adventure-based experience. So we called it ABE. So ABE provides opportunities for people living with mental health and addictions to take part in regular activities. So when I was talking to the team who deliver this service about the beautiful mahi they do, they just really wanted to highlight that it's the small changes that make the biggest difference for people that they support. So just, you know, gaining the confidence and building some hope back into their lives is really, really important. And so the team are based in Christchurch. In terms of referrals, the person has to be over 18, have mental health or addictions, and it's a goal-based service. So they'll come in with, and the team will help facilitate that, which is super cool. In terms of referral forms, if you guys are wanting a referral form, I'm happy to send it to Claire sort of afterwards, or if you want to contact myself, I can direct you to the team. The team shared some really cool stories with me, and I sort of brought some quotes out of that, just to kind of highlight the beautiful work that they do. So we have a feedback form that's at the end of most of our service deliveries, and so these are some of the quotes from that, and just like the unwavering positivity of just how life-changing this service really is for people, and meeting them where they are, and sort of helping them progress, which is super cool. And Angela is here at the end, so if you guys have any questions about that service, I'm sure you can put them in the chat and we'll answer them. Then we have Creative Work, so that's based in Christchurch and Wellington, and so like it says on the slide, it's around supporting people back into employment, so helping with CVs, interview skills, those sort of things, and just, I guess, prepping people for what they'll need in terms of employment. Beautiful, Nairi.
My apologies, it might help if I actually turn my microphone on. Tēnā koutou katoa, everyone. I'd just like to also acknowledge my manager, Angela Tilley in Aotearoa over there. Hi, Angela. So our service supports people who have experience of mental illness and addiction. We're community-based, and we cover a landmass of Karamera Haast, which is almost the same distance as between Auckland and Wellington. We have 4 support workers, 3 full-time and 1 part-time. We're currently in the recruitment process for another support worker at the moment. And the majority of us are based here in Greymouth, and previously we've had support workers based in Aotearoa and Westport. We're a goal-orientated service, which is client-led, which means that we support tangata whaiora to work toward achieving whatever is important to them, like, you know, getting physical exercise, making social connections, reducing alcohol or drug use. We walk alongside them to support them in whichever way they require us to. Support is given in a space of their choice, whether that's in their own home, out in the community, or, you know, wherever they prefer. We are also very inclusive of whānau, if this is what tangata whaiora wish. Our service is lucky enough to have an 0800 number, which means that tangata whaiora throughout the coast can actually call us at any time, especially if they haven't got credit on their cell phones. So that's proved to be, you know, really supportive for them, given that the West Coast can be very isolating. The referral criteria is 18 plus, and while there isn't any age limit, our focus is on supporting tangata whaiora toward being independent of the support at some stage, which would be discussed with them as the support goes along. Should long-term support be required, you know, for someone that's referred into the service, then we would perhaps, you know, suggest making a referral to a more appropriate service that could support their needs. How to make a referral to our service? Well, anyone can self-refer, either by calling the office, picking up a referral form, and a member of our team can help them, you know, fill it in. one can be posted out or emailed. Any community service agency or health professionals can make referrals to our service. We're not a crisis intervention support, so we can actually support tangata whai ora to access crisis intervention when that's required. I have put a little wee story of a tangata whai ora's achievement in here, so I'll just give you an idea of you know, just one of the things that we've done to help someone achieve their goal. So we were supporting a tangata whai ora who was an alcoholic, but who had not actually made the distinction for themselves. So it was beginning to move toward that conclusion when they entered into the support process. So the goal that they identified was to reduce their alcohol intake initially, and then to be alcohol free. So for the first 3 months of support, they struggled with this goal, you know, becoming frustrated, even angry, and felt like giving up and saying many times, you know, what's the point? Can't do it, keep drinking. And I think it's so much easier for those looking in from the outside, those who are not experiencing the addiction, to say, you know, all you have to do is stop drinking. It's far harder for the person who is addicted to let go of something that has become, you know, such a huge part of their life, to the point where it's taken over. So during the support process, I decided to step back from focusing on, you know, whether they felt they'd made any progress around this goals. I thought it wouldn't be beneficial, in the sense that if they hadn't made even a little headway, I didn't want them to feel that they'd failed. So I focused on, you know, providing affirmations, ensuring that they had the information on what peer support groups they could attend, like AA and anything else that was available around supporting them to reduce their alcohol intake. It was important to me that they knew that I was there alongside them, that I wanted them to be able to retain their dignity and feel that they were respected and would not be judged by me regardless of the outcome. And eventually they reduced their alcohol intake, and from there they made the decision to take that first step toward being alcohol free. So they are now in recovery and have their own supports in place to support them to remain so. So, you know, that was a significant achievement for them. And that's it from me.
Thanks, Nari. Amazing story. And then similar to the service that Naira's just described, we have a Christchurch version. So for those who are Christchurch based, it's a so similar referral criteria. So they have to be an adult with mental health or addictions. And the referrals come through what we call the CAP referral, so Community Access Pathways, through the ComCare website. So again, like Nari's all talked about, it's a goal-based service. And working with people at their own pace at whatever sort of comes up for them. And lastly, I just thought I'd highlight, as I sort of said at the start, one of our entities, which is Ignite Aotearoa. And so they are a digital wellbeing platform who partner with workplaces and sort of have 3 key focus areas. So which have broader subcategories. So my life, my health, my meaning. And so if your organisations are interested in looking at sort of a wellbeing enterprise as an alternate to something like EAP, this is a resource that's available, and we use it internally at Emerge, and would recommend. It's got lots of really good resources and lots of good connections into getting access for this things. Cool. So that's kind of the end of our wee spiel about our services. I saw some questions come up in the chat. If we'd like to answer them now. So one was, is the service available in Auckland? And I'm not sure what service we were talking about when that that question came in, but
Was that the ABE that you were referring to, Marnie?
great. To my knowledge, no, we don't have an activity-based experience anywhere else in the Motu as a contract that we hold. But Angela and Diana might know more than I do. But I'm happy to have a wee look and flick you an email, Marnie, if that's helpful. And then how is aid funded? Angela, can I put you on the spot?
Look, it's contracted, and the person that we are supporting is really meant to be funding their, it is looking for activities that they are able to support themselves to do. And it may be looking at doing, there was green prescription, but they do go through the MSD where they can get supports to join gyms and things for their own well-being. So it is supporting the person to be able to find something that's within their budget to ensure that they're able to continue to do that activity.
Oh. Awesome. Are there any other questions, or please feel free to email me and I can redirect to the right department across the Motu. But yeah, thanks for coming today, guys, and helping us celebrate our southern region and kind of the services that we use to realise potential. Are there any final words from Nairi, Diana, Laura, Angela that you guys would like to highlight?
No, not
Oh,
I think just in terms of Te Timu Wilder, if you do have whānau living here in Christchurch or anywhere where these services are, I would really recommend them getting into their GP and utilising some of these services. As I say, they're fully funded. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical health related, but it's really an opportunity to sit down with them within that practice and really nut out sort of what's going well for them and how can they stay integrated within their primary health care and get all the supports that are available to them.
We've got about 10 minutes left if people do have any partai questions to ask, but also you might be able to share your own examples or stories from out there, any of our participants that have come along today, that cross over with what Emerge is doing, or perhaps the Emerge team, you've got some other examples of some stories of some of the people that you're working with, because I'm aware that there's a lot of different areas that you're working in, and it goes across obviously social service sector, but also into health and other areas too, so mental health.
I think Laura's got a bit of a story that she'd like to share.
Yeah, well, I've got a few, but I'll just keep it to so I had a lady, an Asian lady referred for, let me think, it was a while ago. I think high cholesterol and fatty liver. And so the GP sent her to me, and she'd come along with her husband, who's Kiwi, I think, yeah. And she was really, really motivated, which was great, to make those lifestyle changes. But we talked about it's important to go slow and take baby steps. So we looked at, what she was eating, how we could kind of change that, to add more nutritious or healthy options in. Husband, she did most of the cooking, and her husband was quite picky with his food, and said, "Oh, I only really like sausages," and blah blah blah. And he'd actually got high blood pressure, so I was kind of seeing them at the same time. And honestly, the changes that they've made is amazing. Her cholesterol is reduced. She's her fatty liver, the liver results are getting better. She's feeling a lot better in herself. She'd been started on some antidepressants as well because her mood had dropped quite a bit. She's come off those now. She's exercising daily. Husband is they've kind of changed their diet together. They've changed what they eat. He's branching out and eating more kind of healthier options, and also their little boy who's 8, I think, they've kind of brought him into it as well, to, you know, when he comes home from school, rather than giving him some chips, they give him something else that's a healthier option, so some fruit. So yeah, that's amazing. Like it's really kind of stuck with me, that story. I haven't seen her for a while, to be fair, but last time I did see her, she was doing really well, and they were walking up the bridle path, and it was amazing, the things that they've been doing together. So yeah, that's great.
Thanks, Laura. And I think, you know, certainly reiterates that the health part of our well-being, or our, you know, connects in with so much more, you know, so many other aspects about what we are doing in our lives. And that's where it intersects with the social service area as well, in terms of our whānau or our maki, or all of those other intricate parts of who we are, our relationships, you know, different organisations that we work with, talking about the specifics around refugee or migrant populations, people that are coming in with their own cultures from elsewhere, and how to integrate here. So lots of different areas to reflect on there. I wanted to ask, if possible, Nairi, putting you on the spot, what we've also heard from a lot of our organisation members is that when it's in a more rural setting, you tend to end up being a one-stop shop sometimes. So outside of contracted areas or particular outcomes or whatever, that you need to get a little bit more creative. Would you say that that's true for your organisation too, and in which ways or not?
Well, yes, we do have to kind of, I guess, be a little bit creative in how we support our clients. You know, we haven't got the access to a lot of the resources that are available in the cities, and because and over here we don't have public transport either, so that makes it extremely difficult. You know, for people to get around. So you know, there's only the option of, you know, having your own vehicle. So if you don't have one, you know, and you live, you know, way out in the boondocks somewhere, then, you know, the only way of getting to them is that, you know, the supports go to them, and then you have to bring them back, you know, into town to, you know, access whatever it is that they kind of want to do. And for example, we had a client who lived at Aotearoa. I don't know whether you're familiar with Aotearoa, but it's about an hour's drive, and so you're going there to pick the client up, coming back, and then doing what you need to do, you know, to support them, whatever they're focused on, and then you've got to take them back and come back again. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of travel involved. Is there anything that you would like to add, Angela, to that question?
Yeah, I mean, like, isolation is obviously very difficult, but, you know, we have been successful with, you know, supporting of Zoom to knowns as well, with, you know, like, especially with alcohol and addictions. You know, we certainly have supported in that realm with ensuring that people are able to get online and have that support of Zoom to known and things, as, you know, a reminder of those things that can happen online. And looking for other supports. But yeah, very difficult on the coast without having that, you know, like, we just don't have a My Way system like we do in Timaru, or you know, a bus we can get on, and taxi services. So that does make it difficult, but we do think creatively. Sure.
Thank you for those examples. Oh, Fiona may have one more taipapa.
Just more about, in terms of people you're seeing, have the numbers sort of, you know, blown out? We all hear about there's such a big need in communities and how to support people, and in terms of their needs, everything's a bit more complex. But what I know, there'd be quite, you know, you're covering such a, you know, rural versus city, but have you sort of, you know, what do you see in these environments regarding, you know, people you're working with, your communities?
Is it for me? For the West Coast service we're talking about, or just overall?
Yeah, West Coast or Nairi, if you've got anything, yeah.
Look, I mean, really, it's very different to what people want to work on. Some people just do want to get involved in their community. They don't know what is available in the community, and it's just about connecting them to, you know, what neighbour or what person may be coming to town when, or who comes past, and how they can actually get into town to be able to access those activities. Or even the people that are living in Westport or in Greymouth, what is there that they can access to be part of their community and live well in their community, and what services can they access to become alcohol and drug free and have that support. It's very diverse what we get in referrals and where we get the referral pathways from.
And I would say in terms of the your mental health CAT referrals, I think since Te Tima Wilder has been in practices, those referrals have reduced a wee bit, because now you've got that wraparound service within your actually primary care practice. So I know that BIT referrals have gone down quite a bit now, that people can actually go and see the hip on the day straight away. So there's no need for that referral onto those other services straight away. So yeah, I think there's a slight reduction. I mean, it always gets a little heavier around those more stressful times, but at the moment, reasonably steady.
Thank you. Well, there's one more question coming in from David. Thanks, David. How able is Emerge to find and keep the workforce for all your services? Great question.
I mean, Dinah and Angela, feel free to join in on this kōrero, but I guess, you know, being a larger NGO sometimes has its advantages in the sense of the amount of stories that I've heard of people moving across the motu and actually being able to maintain their employment with Emerge, because we are across lots of different areas, not necessarily in the role that they, you know, so say if they were living in Tamaki Makaurau and moving to Ōtautahi, they wouldn't be able to retain obviously the same contract and same position, but there's always opportunities, and obviously having an internal sort of pathway kind of helps. Look, I think there's workforce struggles across the board, and so keeping staff and employing staff, but like we said, our priority is our kaimahi, to some, so making sure that they know that they're our greatest asset and that we're willing to invest in them, I think goes quite a long way from my experience. I mean, this is my second time at Emerge, so I left for a couple of years and came back, and I think that ability to move around in the industry and come back and be welcomed in is a really important culture to have within a team and within an organization. But yeah, I mean, it's a hard time for people accessing services and for retaining employees. So I can see how it's, yeah. I think also regionally we probably have different strategies because different regions require different things, have different staffing groups. So yeah. Anything else, Diana and Angela, seeing you guys are actually doing recruitment?
I think you nail on the head there, Sharon. Yeah, I think, you know, I think we do feel really valued within this organisation. There is a lot of opportunities for learning and development for kaimahi, which is great.
Yeah, all covered from my end.
Thank you. I'm aware that we're just about at our time of 1 o'clock, and very grateful to everyone that has joined us for that time. Thank you to Sharon, Diana, Laura, Angela, Nairi for all of the beautiful input that you've given us today. It is really great to hear from a larger NGO service, and just to see how what you do have available, but also how you weave all of those different services and different kaimahi in the ways that you were talking about. And I loved hearing about the retaining dignity that you spoke of in your story, Nairi, because I think that is just crucial to everything that we do in our social service work, is being able to have that as a priority for everyone that works in the service and all of the whānau that we work with. Thank you for being a funnel, Sharon, to the information and to the referrals, referral forms, etc. Because there are certainly, as you mentioned, Angela, lots of diverse referral pathways out there for all of these different services, and just knowing about what is available and how to get to them often can be a barrier that we can prevent through things like kai and kōrero. So having that opportunity today has been wonderful. If there are any other questions, of course, Sharon has mentioned that she's happy to answer those after this. I'm just going to do that thing that we do in learning and development and launch a small experience poll here, because we do certainly want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our members out there for the things that we do, the information that we put out, the learning and development opportunities, and also the areas that and themes and topics that we are offering. So if you could just click on one of those buttons, it would be really helpful. Thank you so much. Now, we are doing these every month, as you know, and next month, hot off the press, we know that Christina, who is on the session today, is going to, hopefully with her team, is going to be offering the next kai and kōrero space, which is from grandparents raising grandchildren. So we'll send some more information out about what that's going to look like, but very excited. Thank you, Christina, that you're jumping on board for the June, I'm just reading, multitasking badly, Richard. Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks, Richard. I hope everyone can read Richard's final message in there, saying also an Aotearoa boy. So we'll look forward to inviting those of you who can join us again next month on the 11th of June back to kai and kōrero. And just want to say one more big thanks before we do a karakia to end our session to the Emerge Aotearoa team for sharing your passion for your mahi here today. Thank you everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again soon. And a karakia whakamutunga to take us back into our days. Kia mutu a mātou mahi mō tēnei wā. Manakitia mai mātou katoa, o mātou huamahi, o mātou whānau, aio ki te aorangi, tihei, mauri ora. Our work is done for the time being. For our friends and family, go in peace. Go well, everyone. Thank you so much. Ka kite anō.